Pope Francis is now lying in state at St. Peter's Basilica. His open coffin was transferred there this morning. Now you can expect long lines of mourners as the public gets its chance to say a final farewell to the beloved Pope who died on Monday at the age of 88. ABC's Patrick Rebel joins us now live from the Vatican with more on the expected funeral plan. So good morning, Patrick, and tell us what you're seeing there today.
Morning, Tam. Yeah, we watched that spectacular procession as they moved Pope Francis to St. Peter's Basilica behind me. You can see now there are also hundreds of people lining up to try and pay their respects. The doors are now open. They are able to do that and will be able to do so for the next 3 days until the funeral on Saturday.
This morning, Pope Francis's body carried in a solemn procession, moved from his Vatican residence to St. Peter's Basilica. As bells tolled, dozens of clergymen leading his open coffin through a crowd on St. Peter's Square, up the steps into the Basilica for a prayer service. Francis's coffin will now rest there for 3 days until his funeral Saturday. The public will be allowed to pay their respects at his open casket, the simple wooden coffin he requested. World leaders already announcing they plan to attend Saturday's funeral, including President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. Among them also Britain's Prince William, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, as well as many European leaders. The world's attention will also soon turn to who will follow Francis and the conclave to choose the next pope. The secretive gathering of cardinals sequestered in the Sistine Chapel may not begin for a few weeks. The central question, will it choose a similarly progressive pope like Francis or a more conservative? ABC's James Longman meeting the Morrison-Sherritt family from Washington, D.C.
What do you think made Francis different for you?
I feel like he liked to talk to the people a lot more. I feel like he was a lot more open.
I'm hoping that the next one will be a little more conservative, to be honest. Yeah.
Once Saturday's funeral ends, Francis will be laid to rest here at Basilica St. Mary Major in the center of bustling Rome, the first pope in a century to be buried outside the Vatican.
Thousands of people are expected to file through the Basilica to pay their respects over the next 3 days until the funeral, which is on Saturday. Tam?
Thank you so much, Patrick. And we'll have continuing coverage of Pope Francis on 6abc.com and the 6ABC app. You can see how the Philadelphia area is remembering the pontiff and learn more about how his successor is going to be elected.